The Simpsons' ability to anticipate events has been a topic of conversation for years. It's not just entertainment, but a series that has managed, almost inexplicably, to get ahead of important events. Is it possible that The Simpsons simply captures real-world trends more accurately than others? Or are we witnessing coincidences that, because they are uncanny, seem intentional? One of the most intriguing cases is the collapse of a bridge in 2024, an event that The Simpsons depicted in a 1995 episode, in which a fictional Springfield bridge collapses. Years later, in real life, something strikingly similar happened in Baltimore, once again sparking interest in the show's predictive capabilities. If you enjoy content that helps you grow spiritually, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and join our community for more inspiration. Let's get started. While some might see it as a mere coincidence, there are those who wonder if scriptwriters manage to pick up signals from the present that manifest in future events. Another fascinating example is Lady Gaga's halftime show at the 2017 Super Bowl. In a 2012 episode, the show featured a performance by Gaga as over-the-top and theatrical as the one she ended up delivering 5 years later, including her spectacular entrance descending from the stadium roof. But predictions are not just limited to shows and events. The Simpsons also explored the concept of a baby translator in a 1990s episode, where a character invents a device that deciphers infant crying. Although this idea seemed absurd at the time, today's technology has managed to develop something very similar, using artificial intelligence to understand babies' cries. The Simpsons not only entertains us with humor, but also perplexes us with its ability to anticipate technological advances and unexpected events, proving that sometimes the line between fiction and reality is thinner than we imagine. One of the most shocking events that shook the world was the tragedy of the Titan submersible, which disappeared during a mission to explore the wreckage of the Titanic. The Simpsons, in their satirical style, touched on a similar situation in an episode in which Homer finds himself trapped in a submersible. Although, in the series, it was a fictional situation with a comic touch, the similarities with what happened in real life are eerie. These types of coincidences not only generate astonishment, but also invite us to reflect on how the program can represent situations that eventually find echoes in reality. The idea of exploring the depths of the ocean, with all its risks, is one of the great technological challenges we face today. On the other hand, the figure of Donald Trump has been a recurring theme both in the political arena and in popular culture. The Simpsons included him in an episode where his arrival to the presidency of the United States was projected. Although at the time it was taken as improbable irony, years later, Trump not only made it to the White House, but is now preparing for a new candidacy in 2024. What was once a satire on American politics has now become a reality that continues to surprise. The series' ability to capture the country's political climate has been the subject of multiple analyses, demonstrating that behind the comedy there is a keen observation of the dynamics of power. Much like what we have seen in politics with the arrival of Trump, many times reality trumps fiction and surprises us in unexpected ways. Better understanding these dynamics and what may lie ahead is crucial to be prepared for the unpredictable. And just in that sense, we present you with an invaluable resource that will help you decipher the keys to these changing times. This is exactly what The Secret of Jesus' Apparitions offers, a path to clarity and peace through his revelations. This ebook delves into his prophecies and offers a glimpse of what lies ahead. It is available for free at the commentary posted. Grab it now before we run out of editions. In addition, one of the most discussed topics in recent years has been government spying. The Simpsons movie, released in 2007, addressed this issue when the family becomes the target of a security agency that listens in on all their conversations. Years later, the scandal revealed by Edward Snowden showed that mass surveillance by the NSA was not just a fictional plot. These kinds of predictions reinforce the idea that the series not only entertains, but also alerts us to ethical and social dilemmas that could emerge in the future. These coincidences show how an animated series has surprisingly managed to anticipate crucial issues affecting society. The economic collapse of Greece in 2012 marked a critical moment in modern European history, but surprisingly, this event was foreshadowed in an ironic way by The Simpsons. In a season 20 episode, Homer makes a light-hearted joke about Greece, hinting that Europe had put it up for sale on eBay. At the time, the line seemed like a simple joke, but as time went on, the country's economic decline caused that remark to take a dark turn. The image of Greece as a country on the brink of bankruptcy, in need of financial rescue, reminded many of the prediction of The Simpsons, who once again captured the pulse of a global problem with keen insight. On the other hand, the idea of colonizing Mars, which for decades has been an obsession for both science fiction and real science, was also touched upon by the series. In one episode of season 27, the Simpson family embarks on a mission to the Red Planet, exploring the dangers and challenges that a possible colonization would bring. As humanity advances technologically, the possibility of man setting foot on Mars becomes more real. However, as the series points out, this ambition is not without ethical questions. To what extent are we willing to exploit the resources of another planet? What would be the implications of becoming an interplanetary species? These kinds of reflections are fundamental when we think about the future of space exploration. The advancement of technology, however, is not limited to space science. The Simpsons also explored virtual reality applied to gastronomy, a field that is beginning to become a tangible reality. In a season 28 episode, Marge and Homer try out an immersive culinary experience through virtual reality goggles. What once seemed like a concept straight out of science fiction is now beginning to be implemented in cutting-edge restaurants, where VR technology is used to amplify the sensory experience of a meal. This type of innovation is transforming the way we understand gastronomy, making it more interactive and multi-sensory, which underlines again how The Simpsons has managed to predict the future in a surprising way. Do you want to anticipate the events to come? Don't wait any longer. Download the ebook that will give you the tools to better understand the world around you. There are only a few units left, so don't miss out. Taken together, these episodes reflect the series' unique ability to touch on topics that seem distant or absurd, but eventually show a surprising closeness to reality. Whether through economics, space exploration, or technology applied to everyday life, The Simpsons continues to prove to be more than just an animated series. They are a mirror of the dreams, fears, and challenges we face as a society. Music has been considered a powerful tool to influence the human mind, and The Simpsons did not miss the opportunity to satirize this theme in one of its episodes. The plot revolves around a youth band, formed by Bart and his friends, who release a song with hidden messages designed to influence listeners in unexpected ways. This concept, while humorous in the series, raises a real debate about the impact of subliminal messages in music and media. Over the years, controversies have arisen about the hidden influence of certain messages in popular culture, leading us to question the extent to which we are vulnerable to this type of manipulation. In addition, another of the big science fiction dreams that The Simpsons touched on is the possibility of flying vehicles. Although it has long been considered a distant prospect, technological developments bring us closer to that future. Prototypes of personal aerial vehicles are already in the experimental phase, and it is likely that, in a few years, we will see these advances in our cities. This transition would not only change the way we get around, but also the legal and logistical framework of air transportation. Imagining a future with flying cars leads us to reflect on how technology can revolutionize something as everyday as mobility. Art has also been transformed by technological innovations, and The Simpsons has not failed to reflect this evolution in its episodes. The emergence of NFTs, a still recent concept, has changed the way we understand the ownership and value of digital works. These tokens allow artworks to be sold and bought virtually, with authenticity guaranteed by the blockchain. What once seemed like an ephemeral trend has now established itself as a legitimate market, and the series presents it with its characteristic humor, as it imagines how physical art could be replaced by digital representations in the not-too-distant future. One of the most curious moments in the history of Simpsons predictions came at the 2018 Winter Olympics, when the US curling team defeated Sweden to win the gold medal. Surprisingly, in an earlier episode of the series, Marge and Homer participated in a curling competition, also beating Sweden in a dramatic final. While this may seem like an amusing coincidence, it is another example of how The Simpsons manages to capture future events almost prophetically, even in the sports world. A more intriguing case, related to environmental issues, occurred when Bart caught a three-eyed fish in a river near a nuclear power plant in the episode 2 Cars in Every Garage and 3 Eyes on Every Fish. As you continue to discover how the series has reflected the future, we invite you to download the ebook that will help you better understand what might be coming. Remember, we are running out of units. What seemed like a humorous exaggeration became a reality when, years later, a fisherman in Argentina caught a fish with 3 eyes in a reservoir near a nuclear power plant. This episode highlights how the series touches on serious issues, such as the dangers of nuclear contamination, using humor to raise awareness about real problems that could affect our environment. In addition, The Simpsons very accurately predicted autocorrect errors on mobile devices. In one scene of the series, a character tries to type a message on his Apple Newton, but the device erroneously corrects it, completely changing the meaning of the text. Years later, with the advent of smartphones, these autocorrect errors became a common frustration in our daily lives. The devices, designed to facilitate communication, often generate comical or absurd situations by modifying words in unexpected ways, reflecting how technology can sometimes complicate what it is supposed to simplify. The iconic Halloween episode of The Simpsons leads us to imagine a terrifying and comical scenario: a zombie outbreak caused by a crusty burger. At first glance, it may seem like a fantastical exaggeration, but the undercurrent of this story is more connected to reality than you might think. The Simpsons uses dark humor to address serious issues such as food safety, exploring how a mistake in the food supply chain could have devastating consequences. In the episode, Krusty launches a new hamburger without knowing that it is made with meat from cows that were improperly fed. This causes the burger's consumers to turn into zombies, a denouement that leads the plot into utter chaos in Springfield. Although the zombie outbreak is an exaggeration taken to the extreme, the series touches on a theme reminiscent of the dangers associated with poor food management, as was the case with the mad cow disease crisis in the past. This episode highlights the series' ability to take real-life concerns and project them into an absurd but effective narrative. By transforming a food problem into a zombie apocalypse, The Simpsons raises a commentary on the importance of maintaining rigorous standards in food production. Although the series presents it as a horror comedy, the underlying message is a warning about the risks that poor practices in the food industry can pose to public health. The Simpsons, with its ability to anticipate future technological advances, has also predicted the impact that drones would have on everyday life. In one particular episode, drones become ubiquitous in Springfield, from quick deliveries to surveillance duties. What once seemed like a humorous exaggeration is now closer and closer to becoming a palpable reality. Big companies like Amazon and other logistics companies are investing in the development of drones to deliver packages, which could drastically change the way we interact with commerce. The idea of a sky full of drones carrying goods generates both excitement and concern. While these devices promise greater efficiency in the distribution of goods, they also raise questions about their impact on privacy and security. If you've been surprised by the accuracy of these predictions, imagine what you could learn with our ebook. Grab it now before they sell out. The link is in the first pinned comment. In the episode, Springfield turns into chaos when drones start flying everywhere, causing absurd and uncontrolled situations. This type of scenario, although fictional, leads us to consider how the massive use of drones could change the dynamics of our cities and how to ensure that ethical and legal limits are respected in their use. In addition, this episode reflects a growing concern about automation and the decline of human interaction in everyday processes. As technology continues to advance, the balance between the benefits of automation and the risks associated with technological dependence becomes an increasingly relevant issue. The Simpsons' ability to address these issues in a witty and entertaining way reminds us that while technology can offer innovative solutions, it also brings with it new challenges that we must face. If this message makes you think and you feel it connects with you, don't forget to like it, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment. Also, if you really want to support our work and help us continue to create valuable content, consider giving us a super thanks. Join this amazing community and don't miss any news. The evolution of drones does not stop at product delivery. These devices are expected to play a crucial role in areas such as agriculture, security, and even personal transportation. What started as a limited-use tool has evolved into a technology with the potential to transform several industries. Through their satire, The Simpsons invites us to reflect on how we will adapt to a future where drones could be as present as cars or smartphones.